Here she is, here she is. What is up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. As you can tell from the title, today's video is going to be my February wrap-up / March TBR. So without further ado, let's get into it. So first of all, let us start with my February TBR. I read a total of 3 physical books and 1 audiobook. So starting with the audiobook that I listened to, it was The Crash by Frida McFadden. This is her newest release, and it kind of gave, what's that one by Stephen King where she takes like an author hostage and like keeps him in her cabin. It's kind of giving that. So we follow our female main character who basically gets into an accident, and she then gets taken in by a couple who is helping her because the roads are blocked, etc. But she is struggling to get out. That's what I'm gonna say. I gave that one a 4 stars. I actually really enjoyed it. It was just like that easy, typical Frida McFadden, nothing too crazy, but very entertaining-esque thriller. And I don't know, I just really enjoyed it. I know some people didn't really love it that much, but what can I say? Your girl had a blast. And then as for the physical books that I read, so we have Bright Young Women by Jessica Knoll, which is the first physical book that I read. I gave this one a 4.5 stars. This was so close to being a 5-star read, but it just didn't quite reach that point. So we have 2 timelines that intertwine together. The main timeline follows a girl who lives in a sorority house, and one night a serial killer breaks in and, you know, does his thing, and she basically sees him leaving their house, and so it follows that. But then she meets someone who then has an idea that the same killer was the same person that she's looking for, in terms of something that happened like a while back. So then you've got those 2 timelines and how they intertwine together. But what I really enjoyed about this one was that it doesn't glorify serial killers. It literally is like, serial killers are losers, they're icky, they're not to be romanticized at all, they are terrible, terrible people. And I feel like that is a reminder that shouldn't be necessary, but actually it is. I really liked that perspective, and on top of that, this also just gave almost like a true crime non-fiction that I had to keep reminding myself, no, this isn't real. And it is loosely based on Ted Bundy. It was like a thriller / historical fiction / literary fiction, but / like true crime, almost non-fic. It was just such a good read, and I honestly couldn't recommend this one anymore. Next we have Holding the Reins by Paisley Hope. This is the first book in the Silver Pine series. I gave this one a 3 star. So we are going in hot with very similar to the Rebel Blue Ranch series, in that the trope is my brother's best friend for the first book. I really enjoyed the first half of this, and then the second half I just didn't really enjoy it. And I'm not here to compare at all, but there was a part of it that really felt copied almost from Hopeless, the final book in the Chestnut Spring series. I'm pretty sure that came out before this did. I don't know, I could be wrong. But yeah, it just felt a little bit too close to that, and so I naturally kind of compared it. But like I said, this was really starting off so strong, but yeah, second half it just wasn't for me. If you like the brother's best friend trope, honestly, I would highly recommend this. I just kind of felt like I said, because I love the Chestnut Spring series, it felt like a lot of their tropes all in this one book. So it'd be really interesting to see what the second book looks like, because I do have that and I will be reading it. But yeah, this one was a 3 star for me. And then the final book that I read, I don't have because I lent it to my sister, is my book club's monthly read, and it is Blue Sisters by Coco Melors. I gave that one a 5 star. I mean, that was such a beautiful book. If you don't know what it's about, basically we follow the Blue Sisters. There were 4 of them. They are just a collective of different siblings with kind of not the most reliable parents either, and basically one of them passes, and it tells you how they deal with their grief in a certain way. But it also really looks into sibling dynamics and like the automatic role that you play that just is dependent on the order that you are born in as an eldest daughter. And I honestly feel like I am a stereotypical eldest daughter. I found myself naturally relating and annotating more of Avery, who's the eldest daughter's pages, just because I just felt very like oh, so we're all the same. All eldest daughters are exactly the same. But yeah, it was just a really heartfelt book, and I don't know, it just really made me want to hug my siblings very tight. And it also talks about, you know, when are you a daughter, when are you a sister, when are you a wife, when are you a mother, and just, you know, the different complex roles that women often have to take part in. And yeah, I just couldn't recommend it anymore. I absolutely loved it. So if you are new here, you will know that I started off with 10 books for my TBR. I believe it was 10 in January, and I've been just kind of taking books from that and then adding on books and not another 10. I'm kind of basically, I'm trying to keep my TBR to be fairly small, so I'm pretty sure, let's see how many books I have left on there. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 actually that are still on there from leftover from my January and February, and I think the maximum I'm gonna put on there is like 15. So I can pick 5 from today. So the 10 that I currently have on there are All the Lovers in the Night, Daddy, The Trunk, Night Bitch, The Virgin Suicide, Yours Truly, A Course of Mist and Fury, which is my current read, Natural Beauty, Handmaid's Tale, and Training the Heart. So we have 5 spaces to fill, and of course we're bringing out the TBR jar for this one. Here she is, here she is. So we are doing 5. I'm hoping to get like some newer prompts, just because I feel like I keep getting the same ones. A book you think will make you cry. A predicted 5-star, now that's a good one as well. A pretty cover. Based on a place you've been to. Brother chooses. So those are the 5 prompts we've got. So I'm going to start with getting the first 4, and then we're going to FaceTime my little brother, and I'm going to show him my bookshelf and I'll see what he says. So we are back by my bookshelves. I have this one and I have this one, and I do have one downstairs with classics and non-fiction. So what is the predicted 5-star for me? Oh, I was so close to the camera. I never know what the... She might be a diva. Is that a 5-star? Oh, I know this one. I've been to like a decent amount of places. I found my books, and I'm gonna FaceTime my little brother to get his opinion. Embarrassing if he doesn't answer me.
Waiting.
He answered.
On.
I'm filming a video right now, and one of my prompt jars for what I'm gonna read is Brother Picks. So...
Oh, okay.
So what kind of genre do you think you'd pick from? And I'll show you what books I have.
Thriller action.
Okay, so these are all of my thriller action books. Pick.
What's that yellow one that says 5? Instantly stuck out to me.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, no
Thanks.
worries.
Bye.
Have fun.
Bye, love you, bye.
I love you.
Okay, you guys will just have to deal with the fact that the lighting has slightly changed because the sun is already setting despite it being only 5:30. But this used to set at 3 o'clock. Let's not complain. Okay, anyway, so I now have the 5 books that I will be adding to my TBR jar. So the first prompt was a book that you think will make you cry. We have Tuesdays with Maury by Mitch Albom. Maybe it was a grandparent, a teacher, or a colleague. Someone older, patient, and wise who understood you when you were young and impassioned, helped you to see the world as a more profound place, and gave you sound advice to guide your way through it. For Mitch Albom, it was Maury Schwartz, the college professor who had taught him nearly 20 years before. Perhaps like Mitch, you lost track of this mentor as the years passed, the insights faded, and the world seemed colder. Wouldn't you like to see that person again, to ask the bigger questions that still haunt you, and receive wisdom for your busy life the way you once did when you were younger? Mitch Albom got that second chance, rediscovering Maury in the last months of the older man's life. The rekindled relationship turned into one final class, Lessons in How to Live. Tuesdays with Maury is a magical chronicle of their time together. So I do think this is going to be super thought-provoking and just full of feelings, so I feel like this could get me quite emotional. Next we have a predictive 5-star read. And for that, I picked Abby Jimenez, Part of Your World, which is the first book in the trilogy of this, Yours Truly, and Just for the Summer. I didn't realize that it was that way, so I've actually already read Just for the Summer, but not the other 2. Yours Truly is already on this list, so I genuinely feel like this needed to be on there somewhere. But also, I do think this is going to be a 5-star just because I do really enjoy Abby Jimenez's writing, and I've heard wonderful things about this book. After a wild bet, Alexis Montgomery has had her world turned upside down. The course, Daniel Grant, a ridiculously hot carpenter who's 10 years younger than her and as casual as they come, the complete opposite of sophisticated city girl Alexis, and yet their chemistry is undeniable. While her ultra-wealthy parents want her to carry on the family legacy of world-renowned surgeons, Alexis doesn't need glory or fame. She's fine with being a mere ER doctor, and every minute she spends with Daniel in the tight-knit town where he lives, she's discovering what's really important, yet letting their relationship become anything more than a short-term fling would mean turning her back on her family and giving up the opportunity to help thousands of people. Bringing Daniel into her world is impossible, and yet she can't just give up the joy she's found with him either. With so many differences between them, how can Alexis possibly choose between her world and his? Next is a pretty cover, and this is as pretty as they come. Sugar Baby by Celine St. Clair. So pretty. Agnes Green is turning 21 and her life is going nowhere until she meets Emily, the daughter of one of her cleaning clients who works as a model and a sugar baby. Emily's lifestyle is the escape Agnes has been longing for, tasting menus, private flights to Paris and Miami, rich older men who shower her with compliments and designer gifts, but it is the last straw for her religious mother Constance. Kicked out of the family home and thrown from one precarious relationship to the next, Agnes must decide how far she's willing to go to be adored. I've been wanting to read this for a very long time, so again, very excited. Next is a book based in a place you've been to, and it is My Government Means to Kill Me by Rashid Newson, and this is based in New York. Born into a wealthy black Indianapolis family, Earl Trey Singleton III leaves his overbearing parents and their expectations behind by running away to New York City with only a few dollars in his pocket. In the city, Trey meets up with a cast of characters that changes his life forever. He volunteers at a renegade home hospice for AIDS patients, and after being put to the test by gay rights activists, becomes a member of the AIDS Coalition to unleash power. Along the way, Trey attempts to navigate past traumas and searches for ways to maintain familiar relationships, all while seeking the meaning of life amid so much death. I have also wanted to read this for a very long time, and this keeps jumping in and out of my TBR, and I think it's about time that I actually picked this one up. And then my little brother chose 5 Survive by Holly Jackson. I haven't had the urge to pick this one up, but low-key I'm glad that my brother picked it because it was about time, and I remember how excited I was to read this one when I bought it. Red Kenny is on a road trip with 5 friends when their RV breaks down in the middle of nowhere. This is no accident. Someone is out there and someone wants one of them dead. With 8 hours until dawn, the 6 friends must escape or work out which one of them is the target. Buried secrets will be forced to light, and not everyone will survive the night. I believe this is set literally like in one night, and they're just being picked off one by one. Honestly, I'm really excited to read this one now that it's kind of like been reintroduced to me. So these are the 5 books that I will be adding to my TBR for March. I am going on a holiday at the end of the month for my honeymoon, so I'm probably going to try and pick books from there, but I'm also going to just pick whatever books calls out to me at the time, because I don't want to bring books that I don't like, plus I have my Kindle with me. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, please do give it a thumbs up. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!